All right, we'll continue. So let's just open our data. So I think last time we observed that when we do this, so what we must do is that when the comment is less than 10, this must not happen. The whole of this block must not happen. So we must only save once we are. So what I'm going to do, everything else will just be moved one step that way. So what it means is that if the comment is less than, then it means that it won't save. And in fact, maybe this one. Let's just try to use. I want us to use the OK cancel. OK cancel. Yeah. For now, maybe let's leave that one out. We'll do. We'll leave because this one usually is used when you've got dialogue, when you need to give feedback. For now, we'll leave it at that so that when we've finished, we'll come and do house cleaning, and then we'll do. Yeah, so that's when we'll move common functionality into functions and so on and so forth. So for now, I think let us just do quickly. We are going to do update, time allowing. We may also do the delete functionality. So what we want to do when when we want to update. So what we want to do is similar to what we did here, but let's just copy. So when we want to update, we'll do the same things. All right, we'll connect to the database. We are going to set these variables the same way. Then we may need this one. Okay, so once we I think towards the end, all these things will move because these are common applications. So you common tasks. This one and this one are common tasks that we do. So we can move them into a function so that we just call that function when we are doing that task. And then we now need a command to do updating, but because it is very similar to this, we just copy that one and put it there. So what do we want to do in the process of updating? So what we want to do is that if, okay, maybe let's just do this. All right, so somebody has typed in Snapchat, okay, and we search. So this information already exists. So it says details for Snapchat messaging application already stored. You can delete or update. So if now maybe it has come to our attention that as a matter of fact C++ was also used as part of the development language for Snapchat, and that it's also listed, for example, in Toronto as an example. Once we've made those additional changes, we want to say update. All right, nothing is going to. All right, this is I think it's because we didn't complete our coding. So basically what we want to do is we want to get this additional information and update it in the database. So let us just go back there. So I think we needed so we needed the DB case, and we needed this one because what we did. All right, so now you've set that case, and then you can, so this one can now work because it has been created there. So to do update, we are going to use a kind of slightly different way of writing the delete statement. So first of all, we are going to have we'll create an SQL statement statement equal to something. So you can see the difference here is that we just executed the, so what we'll do is we'll write the the statement, and then at a later stage we are going now to do, so when we are now doing the execution, we'll execute the statement. So it's basically the same thing, except that so we can come and execute the statement that way. Okay, it's sometimes it's just the, so what we can do is that, so we can have our statement there. If it requires parameters, okay, value parameters, we can say parameters. So maybe let's make this one is our SQL statement. So if we want to execute them together, maybe they depend on each other, then we can do that. We copy that, and then yeah. So in fact, as a matter of fact, that's what we are going to do. So in here we are going to say, okay, update. All right, update the name of the table. So what I'll do, let me just break this down so that I don't have to be going far to fetch what I want. Okay. Okay, let's break this one again so that we don't have to go far. All right, what's the table name? Okay, I've just messed up. The table name is this one here. So we are saying the SQL syntax for update is update the table name. So we are assuming that we want update the app code. The app code we won't update it for now. Let's just say we'll say update that table. Set that to what? So what we are going to do is, so we use the same thing that I explained, that we, now this helps, maybe in a later video I'll do dangers of SQL injection. This prevents so we could have put direct these values here, but for now let us just use this. So we say set that one. Okay, then we also want to set that to, so what I'll do is sorry, you do the set once in the update statement. I'm sorry about that. Okay, you can do many, so we're going to do that, we're going to do that, we are going to do that, we'll do that one, we'll do that one. Yeah, it's very simple until we reach the end. But now we just have to say where the where clause, where app code, okay, sorry, where app code equals that. So what we are going to do, app code equals that. So what we are going to do, as a matter of fact, so that will be our statement. So if we put this, let's just put it on the one line. There are ways to put this all right, so that is our statement. Okay, then this, so we now need to specify where we are getting these values from. So that is where we're now going to use that one. We'll say all right, so we don't need that one we, okay, so we'll say that one equals, okay, all these we're just going to put them, okay, so this, oh sorry, this can't be, so this one goes to the end, so that one we'll cut it, it will go to the end. So that one, oh sorry, okay, app name corresponds to that, app users corresponds to that, okay, everything else, okay, but we just have to be very careful here. You see, okay, it's fine, we can leave it like that because we already got it there, so it's fine. Let's do that. Everything else remains the same, just the way, exactly the way we had used it in the, okay, except now here this one becomes the last one, because this app code, we're saying where app code, okay, it can't be equals that, then that is the end. So now if we execute this, this should be able to update, but before that we need to do this. So you can see this is a common functionality which will move into its own function, so that all right, maybe let's put a, we can put a dialogue as well to say you are about to okay, before, maybe let's put that message here. Let's get a yes, this functionality, let's get this, ask yes no instead of ask. All right, so what we are going to do is we are going to say, maybe we should have okay, ideally, let's say Control Z, let's put it once we've executed, before we save it. All right, so we are going to say that will be, all right, message box, so this will be update. So we are saying details of that, what can we say, maybe we don't need, let's just do this, we'll say is about to be updated. What can we say, is about to be updated with let's say changes made. Yeah, sometimes they okay, let's say, are you sure? Maybe we don't even need, okay, what we'll do is, let's say details of have been changed, now we can ask the question, are you sure you want to save them, the changes? Yeah, of course we are not being I mean, most companies have got standards how they do these questions around, so just I'm just leaving spaces after the things that we don't things don't become mashed up together. So if it is yes, okay, if it is yes, we want to do this, we want to, okay, if we've answered in the affirmative, we want to save and then close. Else, what do we want to do? Else we don't want to save, we can just maybe else for now, let us just clear the we just want to clear the screen. All right, so let us just try to run this. So if we run this, let's get QQ as an example. QQ, all right. Oh, all right. But let's just go and see in the data. So QQ, it's got 800 million users. Okay. Let's say that we've discovered that, as a matter of fact, it was started in it was put in production in the year 2003. Okay. Then they also used Java and C#. Okay. So we're just going to change the year in which it started and that. So we can say, all right, we know that everything else remains the same, but when they were making it, they used the this one and maybe let's say that one. Okay, so now let us do our update. All right, so we are getting an error. Not all parameters are being used. All right, so there is an issue here. Excuse me. Okay, what is the issue? The issue usually has got to do with okay, so here already we can see there's a problem. Okay, we needed that. All right, so if we QQ search, okay, what do we want? We say we want to add another, maybe that, okay, and 2004 as an example. Update. All right, have been changes you want to say yes. All right, so let's just go and see in our database. If we run it now, QQ, okay, you see it has changed from 2000 and then it has added more languages. So that is exactly where we want to be, and that is exactly what we wanted to do. All right, so I think we still have time. We can quickly do the delete as well. So the delete is not very complicated. It follows the same principle. So you need this, okay, you connect. Of course, like I said, we're going to move this into a separate function. So we'll need that, okay. Then we'll need we'll need our use, okay, of the database that we, okay, and then we'll need as a matter of fact, if we do that, we can write our command here direct. So we can say delete, okay, delete from the table name, okay, where so all of them we use the same. Okay, let's go and use this guy. Oops, all right. Okay, I don't like what I'm doing, but anyway, it's fine. Where app code equals okay, what we can do with this, instead of using okay, let's do, so this is another syntax variation again. Okay, now we want to go and get the app code. Let's just, okay, we want this. See, I'm copying even the last bracket, so we want it that way. So the only variation here is that I'm adding so this I'll explain this with maybe a detailed example why we are doing that. Okay, and then so what we want to do also is let's just maybe what must we do? Let's just also do another. Okay, maybe let's get that information. So all these functionalities, insert needs a commit, update needs a commit, and delete needs a commit. So we'll say details are about to be deleted. About to be deleted. Okay, maybe details of about to be deleted. Are you sure? Maybe that dialogue doesn't sound the way the traditional windows are written. So let's say you are about to delete. You are about to delete this. You are about to delete this. Are you sure? Maybe yeah, that's fine. Let's ask now the question. Are you sure you want? So here you are about to delete this. Are you sure I want to delete this record? To delete. Are you sure I want to proceed? I think it's fine. Proceed. Okay. If it is yes, then we want to commit, do that and that. Otherwise, okay. So this should be good. If this works, then we'll have. If this works, then we'll have done our search, save, update, delete, clear, and exit button. Then the remaining business would just be to do the cleanup of the code. So let us go and see, because I think previously we had erroneously put Telegram twice. So this must not be. What must we do? So this should be prevented at all costs. If app code already exists, we shouldn't enter it again. We shouldn't capture it again. So I think Telegram. Let us search. I don't know what it will give us. Maybe to give us then the first instance in the database. So if we see this one has got C# and PHP, but then you see, all right. So it's an exact copy of each other. So what we can do? Okay, let us try to delete this. Delete. Okay, so there is an error somewhere. Could not process all the parameters. All right. Line 273. So in line 273, we have a problem. Line 273. Okay, delete from this table where app code equals that. All right. We needed all right, you see, we can't we needed that bracket to do that one and then that one. So if we let's run this. Okay, Telegram, we search. Okay, let us delete. You are about to delete Telegram. Oh, okay, that spelling looks funny. Say yes. Okay, let us just go and see what it will. All right, so it has actually deleted the occurrence of. That's interesting. All right, so the only thing that this must not save. So previously, what we did was that we were able to hit the save button twice, and then we saved that record two times. So maybe when we are doing the cleanup, we are going to do a number of things. One, we are going to move common code, okay, common functionalities into separate functions, and we just call those functions. Then two, we may have, as a matter of fact, when you become very good with your programming, for example, you don't have to have so many message dialogue boxes in your, you can actually generate them dynamically as you move along your code. So what we'll do is at the point of saving, if, okay, so maybe let's just think all right, before we do the insert, maybe here at this point we need to do this functionality here. We need okay, so what we can do, this must only happen, all right, so this must only happen if the so this creation must only happen if that record if there's nothing in the database. So I think that this should help. This should help. So let's just move this one. Let's okay, let's just which one can we use? QQ. All right, let's okay, but ideally we must not even get to this point. So what we must do is that if a record already exists, maybe what we should do is that okay, sorry about that. So what we must do is that if for instance we do QQ, okay, and we search, it already exists, this button should be disabled. I think that that should work, but let's just think around how we can play around that. So we have tasks at hand already for the next class. One is to clean the code. We remove common tasks, we put them into functions, and then we just think about how we are going to prevent saving a record more than once. We can do it on the database level, but then we want the error to come on the, so we can just put referential integrity, we can just put a constraint on the database to say, all right, this has to be unique. This app code can't be, it has to be unique. It can't be entered multiple times. Then that will help us to but if that is going to be the case, then we have to think about how we cascade them the error back to the graphical user interface. So what we'll be doing in the next lesson is just to refactor the data, just to clean up and move common functionality into and see how we adjust any further optimizations that we can do. All right, too.